I'm told that if you spend time on Facebook and stay in contact with friends and family, you are at some stage going to see somebody posting something along the lines of, please don't accept a friend request from me. Someone has cloned or hacked my account. And Bruce Hong, one of the producers of Good Morning Cape Town, spotted a friend request from Katie MacDonald, who talks to us about Pacific Zone matters on a Friday morning. And he took a screenshot of the person's profile and wrote to Katie, said, have you opened a new account on Facebook? Might you have been a victim of cloning? And she said, it's the latter. And so we're talking about February now, and they reported this to Meta, and they got a response 2 weeks ago, which is hardly rushing through the gears, is it? But the response was, we didn't remove the profile, the cloned profile. We keep our review process as fair as possible. We use the same set of community standards to review all reports. We've taken a look and found that the profile doesn't go against our community standards. We understand that this might be upsetting, so we recommend exploring the options available to control what you see. If you want us to review something specific within a profile, make sure that you report the content, for example, a photo, not the entire profile. I'm not sure that that's terribly satisfactory. And Peter Goffe-Wood, who is an all-around man about town, a braai master, a decent human being, and somebody who has an extensive social media profile. It happened to you, Pete. How difficult was it for you to get it reversed?
Good morning, John. Impossible, and it's still not reversed. I was hacked 2 years ago, and all of my deliberations with the powers that be came to the exact same end. I was told that the new profile wasn't practicing hate speech or violence or pornography, and therefore they were in a position or not prepared to take it down.
The fact that it's not you, that it's not Pete, it professes to be Pete Goffe-Wood, but it's not Pete Goffe-Wood, that didn't make a dent in their refusal.
And I basically appealed to virtually all of my followers to report and reported as fraud, and it came to no end. As far as they were concerned, the new profile was not breaking any rules in any way. So they were not powerless, but decided their answer was they were going to do nothing about it. And that was 2 years ago, and I've had to rebuild under a new kind of name and a new profile. And those followers, those extensive followers that I had at the time, have all been lost.
And the false profile still is there?
Yes. To the best of my knowledge, it's still there. Yeah. But it's over time, it's been it's lost followers because it's clearly obvious. It's been all sorts of Bitcoin suggestions and that kind of stuff. I have pictures of a brand new house that I bought and my Ferrari that I'd acquired through my Bitcoin investments. Exactly. Well, herein lies the problem, John. Most people who know me know that's not the case. But I know a couple of followers that I contacted. One in particular was a South African expat who was working in Oman, and he had lost $15,000 because he thought, well, if Pete's doing it, it can't be all bad, and so he got through the ringer with these people who suggested the Bitcoin operator they use, and they conned him out of $15,000.
Did you, in the beginning at least, Pete, try to make contact with the person who cloned your account and said, stop it?
Oh, completely. I just got blocked. They blocked me completely, so I was unable to contact them or go on their site, because what I started doing was, when I contacted them, I received nothing. And then I just kept posting on the site saying, this is fake, this is not me, this is false. And they just blocked me from their profiles. So I was unable to contact them and unable to leave messages on their site saying that it was fake.
Pete, thanks very much for sharing your experience with us. Pete Goffe-Wood, Zooks. So Meta is basically saying it's okay to pretend to be someone else as long as that person pretending abides by Meta rules. Ridiculous. That does seem to be the situation. Helen says, my Facebook profile was also cloned, was reported, but same thing, they refused to remove it. Got the same message this week saying it wasn't against community standards. Stephen Powell of ENS Forensics with us via Zoom. Hello, Stephen. Is there anything more that can be done other than saying please to Meta and then accepting it when Meta says no?
The first thing to do is just to make sure that you are reporting it properly. And, there's a procedure that you have to follow, and Meta are quite sticky. If the report ends up in the wrong hands, it's often not dealt with appropriately. So the first thing to do is to check that you are completing the application form correctly, and you've got to click on the dedicated imposter account report. And then the second thing that Meta need is that they insist on the victim first party reporting. So the victim must report, and the victim must supply a copy of the government issued ID. And a lot of reporters just don't follow the process. I think Meta are not doing a great service in advertising what should be done, John, because they should guide reporters better than they currently do. It's a mission to find the right imposter report. So I think they need to do more. And then they do ask reporters to provide any evidence of a rules violation so that they've got a basis to address it. And that's where, if there is inappropriate content that's been posted online, or if there is malice that is available, they ask that the reporter provide that evidence to them so that their review committees can then take action. But there are lots of stories of people who report, and often it's third-party reporters who report a cloned profile, and then months later, the victim hears back that they have failed to address, or the reporters hear back. So it is a common problem, and I think Meta needs to do more, John.
We're trying to, Stephen, we're trying to check with Pete Goffe-Wood and the other particular case that we mentioned, whether they had used the imposter.
Yes.
What's it called? The thing that you mentioned?
It's a dedicated imposter account report.
Dedicated.
And the second item is also to provide the government ID. But there are a lot of steps that people need to take, listeners need to take out there to prevent profile cloning. So strengthening privacy settings, making sure that you use two-factor authentication. It's very similar to the banks. You've got to use strong passwords, make your profile less visible. People overshare. They put too much out there, John. And once the fraudsters can see a picture and there's information and details, it makes it so easy for them to impersonate you.
Well, it should be equally easy to stop them impersonating you.
No, agreed, absolutely. But I think the key thing is make sure you report appropriately and then do the various steps. Hide your friends list. Don't make it public, because otherwise the fraudsters identify who the friends are, and the next thing is they send in requests to your friends and financial support, or there's some urgent disaster that's pending. Limit what we put out there. We should be putting our birth dates, where we live, where our employers are. All of this, we need to be cautious with what we put into the public domain. There are so many scams out there.
Of course, we must be cautious, but Meta must be better. I mean, you've already said that. We contacted Peter Goffe-Wood, and he said he did the whole thing, that he used the dedicated imposter account report. He sent biometrics as requested, and they still said there's no inappropriate content on the imposter's site, so we're not going to remove it. And a citizen in South Africa taking on a global tech giant like Meta, there's only one winner there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the catchphrase, John. I couldn't agree with you more. Meta must be better. I think you're absolutely right. They need to do more to help address the scourge, because it's happening all the time, every day, every minute. Someone's identity is being cloned. And once a fraudster has your identity, they can get up to all kinds of mischief. So reporting the cloned account is important, and then monitoring to make sure what is out there and making sure you take action to address it, and notifying friends, etc., is also important to make sure that they don't succumb to the fraudster.
And are you aware, Stephen, of people, and perhaps even a significant number of people, who've used the dedicated imposter account report channel and sent a copy of their ID and all of that sort of thing, who have had imposter profiles removed?
John, I have come across people who have had imposter profiles removed, but usually it's when they've got some evidence of a rules violation, so racist postings, etc., been posted on the platform, and then Meta have taken action. So it does happen, but it looks like they placing too much reliance on the evidence of a rules violation. And I think the impersonation, as you pointed out, the impersonation in and of itself should be sufficient grounds for Meta to take down that profile.
Because could they not be accused of facilitating identity theft?
I don't think they're facilitating it. They just, I think they can be accused of not taking sufficient action to address it, to assist with eradicating that problem.
Thank you very, very much indeed, Stephen Powell of ENS Forensics.